From seed to plant to pollination, it's the budding artist.
Yay! Okay. Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Budding Artist Podcast. My name is Sarah and I'm here with my bud, Nikki.
Hi!
Nikki?
Yes.
I met you through just the comedy, the showcase,
yeah,
right?
like the sketch. Like we weren't even in a
Yeah.
class together.
I know. And then you're like, I have this brand called Cypherology. And then, no, we were
Yeah.
talking about BTS at
Yes,
first.
yes.
And I was like, I love BTS. And oops. No, it's okay. It'll be part of it. Okay. And then you talked to you about your brand.
Yeah.
So cool. And then you gave me a modeling gig.
I forgot about that, yes.
My first and my last.
Okay, well, that's just because I haven't shot again, but it will happen.
We were doing that. I didn't even get to watch you perform.
Oh my gosh, that's okay.
For one. I was like, why am I out here getting nervous and like everyone else is performing? And
Yeah.
well, how did that go?
It was okay. It was a comedy scene, which I am very much like a drama girl. So
Gotcha.
It was a lot of work. You know how comedies are, they're like hit or miss.
So hard.
Yeah, so I felt like it went okay. I also don't watch a lot of comedies, so I don't know.
Oh,
Like, I
which
don't
one
know.
was yours again?
It was based on they're like nurses and doctors.
It was the Mindy Project one.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay. That one's actually really funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how we met. And ever since then, I was just catching up with you whenever I
Yeah.
could. And you've been to so many places since then.
I know.
And I don't know. It's
That's
like,
true. We met like middle of 2023, right? I
yes.
think so. That's crazy. So it's almost been a year.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Time is like moving super.
It is. And on top of that, we haven't even been in class together. So it's like really funny. But I think it's so cool that we're still friends and like still trying to catch up with each other. And I feel like we ask each other for advice all the time. Anyways, I just wanted to start out and ask you because strangely we do know each other really well.
Yes.
But then also I don't really know you that well, so I kind of wanted to ask you what your passions were,
Yeah.
because I knew you through acting, but then also Cypherology, BTS, and K-pop, and I love K-pop too.
Yeah, so I guess my business, Cypherology, started with, I originally wanted to make book and movie merch. I don't know if you remember when there was like this huge fad of like Hunger Games coming back. So I wanted to do that, but I know that's kind of like a hard market to break into. So I also like BTS and K-pop, and that's a little bit easier. So I started designing a bunch of BTS and like Blackpink and Twice merch.
Yes.
I have like zero background in graphic design. Everything is self-taught.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and so it's funny because I worked on one program, Procreate, where it's like free drawing.
Oh, cool.
But then when I went to go actually like turn it into shirts and sweatshirts, my manufacturer was like, oh, you have to use this other program. And yeah, I was just, I had to like teach myself that in 3 weeks. So it was, yeah, it's crazy.
Wait, what was up with the timeline?
I told him, I was like, oh, I want this printed and like good to go for selling in like a month and a half. And he's like, oh, okay, but when you design, like it has to be in like a vector format, which is like clean.
Oh,
Yeah.
girl, I'm starting to know about that
Yeah.
stuff because of all this stuff. Vector formats and like .ai. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, so I had to teach myself Adobe Illustrator.
Amazing.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Would you say that's one of your passions?
Yeah.
Graphic design now, or?
Definitely. I think like a lot of my passions is things that I can get lost in. So like example, reading and movies, you kind of just get sucked into that. And then graphic design, when I was teaching myself, I started off with like physical, like actual drawing on
Totally.
paper.
Yeah.
And when I was in college, I would like disappear for like 3 or 4 hours at a time and like just draw.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so now when I graphic design, it's hard because we're adults and like full-time jobs during the day.
Totally.
So I would have to stay up at night till like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Wow.
And then I would get all my designs done and then I'd sleep and then go to my full-time job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so I really had to be like passionate about it to make it work.
Yeah.
And then I did that for about a year. It slowed down a lot, but mostly because acting has always been my biggest passion. And now doing acting classes and putting in the work to rehearse before those classes is my main priority.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
And you just got your headshots and all that stuff with your beautiful red hair. It looks so amazing.
Really? Thank you.
Because I saw it. The first time I saw it was on your Instagram through you going to Korea. And then I was just like,
Yeah.
in the winter, like with the snow falling and then your red, like aerial hair. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
Thank you.
Nikki.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's amazing. So, cypherology and then graphic design, drawing, books, movies, all that stuff, and then acting. Did you always know that you wanted to be an actor, or did it stem from, just watching movies and reading books?
Yeah, so I grew up like very art oriented. So I grew up playing the piano for like 13 years. Yeah.
Is that another passion of yours?
Less now. It's more of like just like being dedicated to something when you're a kid. And so I grew up doing piano, made the crossover to sports in high school, but I was still very artistic and like drawing. And then when I got to college, I tried out for like a theater org. It was funny because it's all in Filipino because it was in the Philippines.
Amazing.
In Tagalog. And I was not fluent at the time, but now I'm fluent because I had to learn to be able to like adapt and like actually be involved in the plays there.
Yeah.
And then when I was doing acting in college, I was like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. Like I've never felt better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so you did acting in college. You got a degree in acting?
No, I got a degree in psychology.
I feel like that's kind of common. I've met a lot of directors and film people in general, cinematographers even, that got their degrees in psychology and then moved into film, or they just do it on the side. I think that's so cool.
Yeah, originally I wanted to be a psych major to like learn about mental health. Like I thought I wanted to be like a high school counselor, and then I found out you have to get a master's, and I was just like, it's not probably gonna happen. But I still like loved mental health awareness.
Totally.
And then it just so happened that like being able to understand like people helped with acting, because then you're like, understanding your role and the characters and like their background. My degree was more of a backup in case like acting doesn't work out, but I would prefer to not have to do that. It's more of like a crutch of like using it for my full-time job while I'm pursuing acting.
Wait, that's awesome. Wait, I thought you were in HR.
I am. Talent acquisition.
So
HR, like psychology, is kind of where HR is in the Philippines.
Gotcha.
But it was like a accredited school, so it's a universal degree.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
wait, you went to college in the Philippines?
Yes.
I don't know why. I'm learning so much right now. I don't know why I originally thought you got your degree here at, I don't even know what school. Oh, hello.
No, I went to high school here. I went to community college for a year. And usually by like the end of people's first year, they know what university they want to eventually transfer to by the end of like their second or third community college year.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. So I decided I might as well go to the Philippines where my brother was already studying.
Got it.
And then so I didn't even finish community college. I went for a year and then transferred to the Philippines and then got my what was supposed to be 4 years but turned into a 5-year degree. In psychology there, and then I came back.
I kind of wish I did that, where I took an extra year, because I was always in the school of thought of trying to finish as quickly as possible, because being in school for almost your entire life can just be really exhausting. I wish I elongated my schooling, because then you could expand your mind so much more and be around more people. I think that's what I like so much about acting too. You meet so many new people. I met you and I was just like, this is so awesome. Okay, so did you get a minor in theater?
I just did theater clubs, I guess you would call them here. There it's called organizations, but I just did like theater club the entire 5 years that I was.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
We like joke that it's like, oh, major in theater, minor in psychology, because because you just dedicate so much time. Like you go to your classes during the day, and then rehearsal is 6 to 9 p.m. every night.
That's
and
amazing.
then the shows are like on the weekends. You guys wouldn't know any of them because they're all Filipino plays, and they're usually like self-written by like alumni of the school or of theater org. So we like to collaborate with previous alumni and who are still in the arts industry and like who want to get back into writing.
Yeah.
And we'll put on their plays, but the main goal for the theater org is to promote social cultural awareness. So it's always plays that are about poverty or politics or something that's like bringing awareness.
That is so cool.
Yeah, so the goal is to always like send a message with your art.
You could tell so much with your art, and you can tell stories that, you know, really can affect people. So that's really cool. You went to school in the Philippines for psychology, and then you were in theater club, and then you moved back to the US.
Yes.
What happens then?
I moved back right when the pandemic started. Yes. So
Wait, everything moves so quickly for you.
yeah, I graduated December of 2019. And then I had like 3 months. My plan was to like get an entry-level job anywhere, like
Totally.
even minimum wage,
Yeah.
like as soon as possible, just to start making money. And then the pandemic hit. And then it's like nobody was hiring.
Yeah.
Everything, like movies, parks, like everything was like on hold. So even if I wanted to pursue acting, there was nothing I could do.
Yeah.
Classes were on hold. Probably for like a year. It was just working. I worked at a vet as like an assistant. So I felt like I was kind of at a standstill for a little bit. The whole world was at a standstill at that point. You know, as like we're getting older, especially because I graduated college at 25, which most people in the US I think graduate by like 22 or 23 if they go right after high school.
Okay, gotcha.
I felt like I was running out of time.
That's always a theme.
Yeah. And so now with the pandemic that happened, it's even more out of your control. I was on hold for probably like 2 years, and then things started opening back up. I started taking acting classes again. I didn't take acting as seriously as I wanted when I first picked it back up. I was going to classes. I wasn't auditioning. I didn't have headshots. I was like learning, but I wasn't dedicating time to rehearsing because it was just there.
Yeah.
Probably in the middle of last year, I don't want to say it was an epiphany because it's not that serious, but I like realized like, you know, you wanted acting so bad and then you put it off, and now you're 28, single. I have a full-time flexible job, and I actually like had this conversation with my dad as I was opening Cypherology as my business, and he's like, now is the best time for you to pursue your passions because you don't have a family holding you back. You don't have like a career where you have to go in an office every day. You don't have to dedicate time to a significant other. So like now is the time to do it. And so it like lit a fire under my butt.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so that was this year, you would say, or last year a little bit?
2023.
2023. Okay.
2023, May to July is when I opened my business.
Right.
I did it very quickly. I cranked out a lot of designs, got a little bit burnt out because most people release designs gradually. I did like 8 designs all at once, and then took a break, and then released 5 more designs, and then I haven't released any since then, which is okay for me as long as I have like a creative output of some sort. And so my business has kind of gone on the back burner because I'm pursuing acting.
Right.
And I had this whole discussion with my dad. My dad owns his own business as well. He owns 2. So to be able to like talk to someone who has also started from the bottom and is like a successful person now, I remember crying to him. And I was like, I feel like I can't have both my business and acting right now because it's gonna burn me out and I'm gonna get tired.
Totally.
I was crying to him, and I was like, I feel like if I don't pursue acting, I'm gonna regret it for the rest of my life. And then he told me, it seems like you already made up your mind and you know what you want to do, so you should do it because now is the best time. And I was just like, okay.
Go, Dad.
I know, it meant a lot because my dad is one of his businesses is printing merch.
Yeah.
So he was my connection for my manufacturer.
Got it.
So I was so scared that he was gonna be like, oh, like you're not gonna follow my footsteps anymore. But he was so understanding. It's fine if you put it on pause for now.
It's so successful.
Yeah.
Remember when I was trying to open that's I was trying to open my own little t-shirt business. I remember asking you at the coffee shop, and I was just asking you so many questions.
Yeah.
I don't even know what I was thinking. Thank you so much for sitting through that. And it never happened, so
We're here
now. For me personally, I think from that moment, I really learned to not force things as much, because I feel like whenever I force things like that where I'm just pushing really hard for something and it's not really giving at all, that's when I need to redirect my attention. I gave up on that that dream.
You just changed directions. I don't want to say you gave up on it, because you can always come back to it. You know?
That is true. We'll see one day if I ever do. But I was like always inspired by you. And I only knew you for like a year. Hearing your story, because when we did that little modeling gig, me and Jasmine was the episode before you, which is so cute. Learning about your business, how it all started and how quickly it started. Because I'm pretty sure we did the photo shoot in August or something.
Yeah. My first event, I think, was June. Yeah.
It's all moving so quickly, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so impressive.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was a whirlwind.
Yeah. Would you say during this whole time period, did you have a lot of support around your acting and then like your business and just all of your passions?
Yeah, definitely. I think starting in college, obviously parents want you to put school first.
Yes.
So that was always a thing. But even when I was like struggling, not the greatest student, my parents like never pulled me from the theater org because they knew how much it meant to me. But I did have to work on like balancing properly. I would say moving back, and when I was not really dedicating my time to acting but just going to classes, I didn't really need that support. And then when I opened my business, like I mentioned, my parents were very supportive. They would always give me feedback or like tell me how to do the business side, because they're adults and I was still like not feeling very adult, and like all of the legal stuff.
Oh my gosh, LLC stuff.
I know, exactly. And so I had a lot of support from them in that sense. They live in Texas, but like when they were in town, I would like let them know if there was an event, and so they would come and stop by.
That's so sweet.
And yeah, it was really nice. When it comes to acting, my mom wanted to see Mamma Mia in LA.
Yeah.
And so she brought me and my brother, and I don't have a single musical. That's a lie. I play the piano. Correction. I cannot carry a tune whatsoever. And I remember my mom goes, I could see you doing that someday. And I looked at her and I was like, I can't sing, but thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh my god. That's actually so sweet.
Yeah. Their biggest thing was like, get a degree, have a backup option, then do whatever you want. Like, so
Amazing.
It was nice. Yeah.
No, I love that. I did want to ask also, as a child, were you a full-on like, I want to be an actor, I want to like do no. Okay.
No. As a kid, I was born here in the US, but I grew up in the Philippines for 6 years.
Okay.
And you know when they talk about like those talented genius kids?
Yeah.
That was me for like 2 years. I went to like a Montessori school, which is where you choose what you want to learn. You choose, but it's your parents because you're a kid. Like what you want to learn and your curriculum. And so when I was like 5 or 6, I could fluently speak like Chinese, Japanese, Tagalog, and English. Yeah, so it was crazy. And then I moved to the US, and that completely disappeared. So I moved back here for first grade. I want to say I was, aside from piano, I wasn't like super artistic as a kid. I didn't really get into drawing until 6th or 7th grade.
Interesting.
In middle school, that's when I kind of realized I had a talent of being able to look at something and then like copy drawing it.
Okay.
And then I didn't really get like creative mindset until like later into high school.
Yeah.
So it was a very gradual build up. I wouldn't say I had like I did not know I wanted to pursue something artistic. I remember I wanted to be an environmental scientist when I was younger.
When you're like 7?
Yeah.
Really?
Like, I had one of those like little vision boards, and it literally had like a whale.
Oh my gosh.
So
I didn't even know what that was when I was 7. That's wild. I've always heard of the gifted children. I was the complete opposite. No, I seriously actually remember. I think it was from after kindergarten, like first grade until 3rd grade, where I remember nothing going on up here. So it was seeing a gifted child and then sitting next to each other.
It's balance.
It's balance. passions right now. With your passions, when did you see the most growth, would you say?
Yeah, I think it's in the last year. I realize it. Obviously, over the past 10 years, my talents like grow gradually, but I think I didn't notice it until in the past year with acting. It has a lot to do with my mental health and like self-confidence too. I had zero confidence probably from when I graduated college in 2020 to like 2023, early 2023. Wow. Yeah, I had like zero confidence. My hair is red for a reason.
What? No, I think it's awesome.
It's literally because I would like get so anxious that people are staring at me.
Yeah.
That like by having red hair, it's like I'm
giving them a reason.
Exactly. So I don't have to overthink it.
Oh my gosh.
And so this is the second time I've had red hair. The first time I did it, that was the reason. And then I dyed it back to black. And I told myself I would not let myself use that as like a crutch again until I was good with my confidence.
Yeah.
So then in the last year, mental health wise, I was like trying to do everything I could to be the best that I could be properly, like not letting it consume me.
Yes.
So I'd go to the gym. This is like very small, but like I was self-conscious about my teeth, so I got Invisalign, and so I would like focus on one small thing at a time until my self-confidence like built. And then last year when I was like, okay, I really want to go full into acting, I'm ready to take headshots, I have the confidence to be in front of a camera, now I feel like I can have red hair again.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Well, I mean, that makes so much sense. Hello.
Where is he?
I don't know. Hi. Snoopy?
Yes.
I love him. He's our special guest, a paid actor. Especially when it comes to this business, I feel like it's always about looks. And I think that's one thing that kind of kept me away from it for a long time, because I was really self-conscious at one point in my life, and who isn't? There's no representation whatsoever. And I would say now it's like way better than it was before. When you're talking about the small steps that you took to make yourself more confident, I had to build my confidence more because I just never felt confident. And I'm 30 now, so like I still am working through. There's just like so many little things that I'm like, like I was like, that.
Which makes sense. Like it's totally understandable.
I know. And the one little thing that I started doing, this might sound like a little crazy, I have to like change my entire mindset about this. And I have to believe that I am beautiful. Really believe that in my mind, because I just didn't believe it. How am I supposed to convince all these other people and this casting director that I believe that if I don't believe that myself? And if I'm looking at every single self-tape being so critical and not even looking at my performance, it's looking at what I looked like.
Yeah.
Every time I would do a self-tape and every time I would see myself in a mirror, I would literally tell myself, you're so beautiful. And I would look at myself in the eyes, make sure that I received that message. Not to make this a therapy session. That just kind of stemmed in my brain when you were talking about doing the little things to really make yourself confident again. And so anyways.
I feel like that's like a good thing though, is like self-awareness, because a lot of people, everybody has their circumstances that they're stuck in, you can't do anything about. But if you have the opportunity to make things better for yourself, but then you don't, and then you just keep complaining, I feel like there's nothing else anyone can do for you.
Totally.
Like you have to start with yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I've learned so much during this process, especially because Jasmine and I actually talked about this. No one is gonna specifically tell you that you're gonna make it in this business. You have to have that innate belief in yourself that you will make it in this business or you never will.
But another thing that kind of goes hand in hand with the confidence is like online marketing. The biggest quantifying growth that I saw was when my Instagram, I gained like 900 followers overnight from one video.
Whoa!
And it's funny because I asked you and Jasmine to model because I at the time like was not confident enough to model for myself.
Would you model now?
I'm still working on my relationship with the camera.
I don't know. I think you're just so beautiful. So I don't know.
This is where I gotta practice what you do.
You look in the mirror and like look at yourself in the camera and say that you look really good.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't like record, like TikToks is how everything goes viral now.
Yes.
And I like couldn't get myself to film just because I did not like being in front of the camera. But then I had one good video that I was not in. But it blew up, and I was just like, man, imagine if like you had the confidence to be able to do what other people were doing and put yourself in front of the camera. And this was before I fully got into acting, so my confidence wasn't there yet. But it made me realize you can't let stuff hold you back, because look at, if I had not filmed this video because I got self-conscious about something, I wouldn't have gained 900 followers overnight. And
That's true.
Yeah. And like people will come in person and they'll see your good designs, but online, like they're taking your word for it based on how many followers you have. They don't
True.
see how many sales you're having. They see how many people are interested in your Instagram.
It's a numbers game.
It's a numbers game, unfortunately, because there are so many like creative people out there, like creative actors that just don't have the opportunity to be in big shows or films. Same way that there are great graphic designers that just don't have a platform or don't have the confidence to market themselves.
True. My sister told me this, and it stuck with me forever. But she said, to be cringe is to be free. And I was like,
honestly, I've been thinking about it too. As an actor, I don't want to like have to rely on TikTok to gain traction in the acting industry, but I think it says something. Being able to post on TikTok, you have to have so much confidence that
I know
thousands, millions of people could see you, and they're gonna judge you. But I feel like as an actor, that's kind of like the same thing of like you're bearing your soul, except now it's on internet forever. But yeah, you're like being vulnerable. Things are gonna be cringy to some people, but how badly do you want it? Like you're gonna suck it up and do it, and then log off TikTok for the rest of the night.
That's what I do sometimes. I'll post something and I'll be like, whoops, I don't have a phone anymore. I think we kind of covered this, but why now? Why acting now?
I think I'm privileged enough that I have the resources to, as an adult, I have a good career where I'm making enough money to be able to take classes and to do headshots, and then confidence. I think after a year of like working on myself, it's finally time that nothing is going to hold me back more than myself. So I can't make any more excuses. The age thing, it's like in my head, 4 years ago you wanted this, 4 years from now you're gonna want this. What's gonna stop you from starting it now, you know?
I think that's beautiful because, and especially with the age thing, that also was just, especially in Hollywood, where women at the age of like 35 is already out.
They're like moms.
They're moms.
Like older moms.
I mean, we're kind of lucky because Asian don't raisin, but like
exactly.
But at the same time, it's kind of a sad thought because even though we may not look our age, we are our age. If we're living truthfully, really accepting ourselves for who we are and really seeing ourselves for who we are, age is like part of all of that. And in a lot of ways, starting out later in life has really helped me in so many ways. Because again, the confidence thing, I would have never been able to be in front of a camera. Or like even in front of a 5-person class reciting monologues. I wouldn't have been able to do that. I had horrible performance anxiety. So in a lot of ways, like you were saying, the privilege of being able to do it now is like such a big thing. And something that we can't forget. And I hope that we both hold it with us throughout the entire, like our entire careers. I don't know. Everything happens for a reason. We would have never met if I started earlier, you started earlier, later, you know, whatever. So try not to overthink that and be like, if I started earlier, we're here now in the present. You're doing classes and you got your headshots. How do you feel about your current position in your art and in your passions?
I feel okay. Actually, one of the reasons I really got back into acting, a book I read is being turned into a TV show.
Oh, which one?
Fourth Wing.
Wait, really?
Yeah. At first I felt like this pressure of like, well, if you want a chance to audition, like you're so behind on acting, you don't have credits, blah, blah, blah. And it really stressed me out for like the first month of me getting back into acting. And then I realized I can't do anything till I get headshots. I can't do anything until I feel more confident and I get back into it. So I've just been focusing on getting better now. So that way, if the opportunity comes and I do get it to audition for that show or any other show, then I'll be prepared. And I think that's like a big thing, is like realizing you can only do so much, because obviously you want to control as much as you can. You want to get auditions, you want to get casted, but then like how much of it can you actually balance? And so a bridge to cross when we get there.
You can't determine if a casting director is going to choose you over, you know, all these millions of other talented people.
Yeah.
And so one thing that really stuck with me was, why am I doing this? Really defining that for me was like a huge thing. I think that when it comes to this industry especially, you can get off track so easily.
Oh yeah. Not staying grounded.
Not staying grounded. With acting, you really have to love it and be really passionate about it to be doing like some really vulnerable stuff.
Yeah, I agree. And that's like the best result that you see in movies and TV shows, actors personalizing their roles. Yes, you're playing a character, but most people have been like in a scenario where they've experienced something that's made them feel that sort of way that the character is feeling.
True.
I think that's also what makes entertainment such a bonding experience. It's like, just like music, somebody else has experienced it, so you're gonna connect with them, and so that's like the best thing.
I love that part too. So how do you feel about classes and like the headshots and future projects or projects now even?
I feel okay. I feel like I'm doing the most that I can, and I think like as an artist or even like somebody who has a passion for something, you always have to be learning and growing. Books, but also there's like acting books where like I feel like I'm absorbing as much information as I can, and now it's just producing results for it or like inputting into my everyday life, and so I feel like it's exciting.
Yeah. Alan Rickman is one of my favorite actors of all time. I remember there's this one post that I saw of him in an interview, and I guess the interviewer asked him, what advice would you give to a young actor?
Yeah.
And his advice was, you just have to read, do other art, like go to art museums, really experience life and form your own opinions about these things. Read the newspapers, all that stuff, and just be a part of society so that when you do get these roles and these characters, you know exactly how to, you know, perform these characters. I love that.
So true.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even like BTS like inspires me so much because especially RM, he's one of my biggest inspirations too. He just goes to art museums and reads books all the time.
Yeah, and a majority of their music is like experiences that they had growing up and like having to work so hard to pursue their goals, and now they're famous, but they're also showing like how relatable they are, that they had to work so hard for everything, and showing appreciation, and then they're still constantly growing.
Right?
Yeah.
It really brought me out of some dark times.
Yeah, because that's like the same thing as I said about music and movies, is they're so relatable, right? And like if you're feeling alone, like there's always a song or a movie or a show somewhere out there that you can relate to.
That is so true.
Yeah.
Would you say that's why you wanted to do all this acting?
Yeah, actually, I don't talk about it often, but a big part, it sounds shallow when I first explain it, but a big part of me wanting to pursue acting is because I really wanted to be famous.
No, that's everyone at first.
Yeah, because I don't know what it is. Famous people have so much influence and power to inform people. And so my big thing I mentioned earlier is like mental health awareness. Yes, I could volunteer somewhere. Yes, I could repost things and share my experience. But who am I compared to, example, Taylor Swift, who's selling records about her experiences right now? If you have that kind of power to share about certain things, I would love to be able to use that. And so for me, acting, becoming famous, to be able to share my experiences with mental health is actually the main reason that I got into acting. I don't share it often because it's very like sentimental, and I know people are like, oh, that's like such a weird connection, but
no, but it actually is very beautiful because mental health, just maybe within the 2020s even, has become less of a stigma than it has been. I totally understand, and I think that's really awesome. That's your reason, because, you know, everyone has a reason as to why they're going into this, to really push you through those moments where it could get really hard. I love that. Well, I never knew that about you either. Well, obviously, I feel like it's personal, so I wouldn't want to pry. But
most people don't ask. You ask why you want to get into acting, and you say you love it, and it's like relatable, and it's fun.
But deep down inside. Is that why you got into psychology, by the way?
Yeah. I feel like also, as I mentioned, even if there's somebody who's relating, if you specifically don't relate to mental health or mental illnesses, somebody you know is dealing with something. So going into psychology, it's like I wanted to learn for myself. I'm like an overly anxious person.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to be able to understand myself better, but also I've always kind of been a soundboard for people and like giving advice. So I want to make sure I'm giving proper advice. So yeah, I wanted to make sure like not only am I informed, but like whenever I share knowledge, like the people I'm informing, even if they don't experience anxiety or depression or anything like that, somebody in your life is like going through something. So if you can like learn one thing and then pass it on, it's good.
Nikki, we need more people like you in this world. Like I love it. So I love your answers.
Thank you.
You're the best. What are you most excited about?
Oh gosh, like in general or like in
I mean,
acting?
like, it could be anything, but like in acting in general, like whatever you want to talk about.
Knock on wood, I hope that I'm able to like pursue a career, just like being able to do what I love. I think that was the thing I loved about in college is, yeah, I'm a student, but then I get to go into theater rehearsal and do that. And I was doing it every day. And it was so enjoyable that I wasn't feeling drained or anything. That's what I want to be doing as a career.
Yeah.
Is like being able to do what I love and not questioning it. Yes, I'm getting paid on top of it, but it's my priority is just being happy.
Yes.
Yeah.
So nice to know the inner workings of people and why they do things and what their thought process is and what their processes are when it comes to this stuff, because it's hard.
Yeah.
This is like such a difficult industry to be a part of. I really love to hear the why of why people keep going for it and the sheer amount of people that want to do this, the small amount of people that actually get to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with all that, what are your next steps?
Auditioning, continuing to learn. I think my main thing is just not getting burnt out. Whatever I can do to keep that passion going. I think my next steps are just being in the now and like enjoying what I'm doing while also working towards a goal.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, we should all
Live in the
now. Live in the now. Nikki, thank you so much for being on here. I'm so like grateful that you're on this episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. And yes, and there will be more with Nikki in the future. Like I said before.
Who knows where we'll be then.
I know. Imagine like a year from now.
Oh my gosh. Who knows?
We like circle back.
I know. That'll be crazy.
I have to do that.
That would be so insane.
I'm gonna do that. But yes, okay, until next time. Thank you. See ya.
Bye.